In 2021, El Salvador made history as the first country in the world to adopt cryptocurrency, specifically Bitcoin, as an official legal tender for transactions and payments. While only a handful of other countries have adopted cryptocurrencies as a legal tender, this bold move has sparked significant debate. Critics argue that cryptocurrency adoption stems from inherent weaknesses in the financial systems of these countries. They also highlight that the population of the countries adopting cryptocurrencies is a teeny fraction of the global populace, suggesting that this fraction cannot serve as a reliable indicator of the potential for cryptocurrencies to achieve global dominance. But is this viewpoint entirely accurate? How important is the percentage of the global population adopting cryptocurrencies? And more importantly, when can we consider cryptocurrencies to have penetrated the world population to the extent that they can dominate globally? To explore these questions, we must consider cryptocurrencies not only as alternative forms of money, but also as innovative products poised to expand and potentially prevail in the global market. We focus on considering cryptocurrencies as innovative products rather than currencies because while they utilize cutting-edge technologies to facilitate transactions and payments between counterparties, cryptocurrencies do not fulfill all the functions of conventional currencies. In fact, cryptocurrencies challenge an essential role of conventional currencies, which is about exercising monetary policy. Traditional currencies through central banks allow authorities to control interest rates and money supply, trying to shape macroeconomic policy. Cryptocurrencies, however, are not involved in this kind of macroeconomic aspect, placing themselves outside of any centralized monetary system. On the other hand, cryptocurrencies, as a form of money, have introduced a revolutionary way of trading and making payments. By leveraging advanced technologies like blockchain, they are poised to bring about significant changes that could redefine the landscape of transactions and payments, and thus, through this redefinition, become the dominant currencies around the world. In order to find out if indeed cryptocurrencies as innovative products have the potential to prevail in the global financial and monetary system, we need to study them through the law of diffusion of innovations. According to this law, when introducing an innovative product like cryptocurrency as an effective solution to societal, economic, or market challenges, we must recognize that widespread acceptance doesn't happen overnight. In fact, the journey of an innovative product to dominate, for example, the global financial system, unfolds in stages as described by the law of diffusion of innovations. This journey traverses 5 distinct groups along the convex curve, each with a unique approach to adoption. These groups are the innovators, the early adopters, the early majority, the late majority, the laggards. Each group represents a different mindset towards adopting new ideas and technologies. The innovators, making up 2.5% of the population, are the pioneers who actively seek out and embrace new products and ideas. These individuals are fascinated by innovation and are driven to adopt cutting-edge technologies. They often question the status quo, striving to create a better world. For innovators, investing in cryptocurrencies is not primarily about financial gain, but about believing in the transformative power of these technologies to reshape financial systems and empower individuals. Their commitment and enthusiasm inspire the next segment of early adopters. Following the innovators are the early adopters, who make up 13.5% of the population. These individuals are visionaries who see great value in innovative ideas and are willing to accept the initial imperfections because they believe in the potential benefits. Often influential leaders in their professional and social circles, early adopters help to influence public opinion and build momentum for broader acceptance. They share the innovators' reliance of intuition and instinct, acting as crucial validators of the new technology. The early majority, representing 34% of the population, is more pragmatic. This group waits for tangible evidence and proven benefits before embracing new ideas. They observe the experiences and reactions of the early adopters and, once convinced, begin to adopt the innovation themselves. The early majority's acceptance is crucial for achieving widespread adoption, as they constitute a significant portion of the population. Also making up 34% of the population, the late majority is generally more skeptical about new innovations. These individuals tend to resist change and wait until an innovation has become well established and widely accepted before adopting it. The late majority requires solid proof that the innovation has become the norm of the market and is reliable. Finally, the laggards constitute the remaining 16% of the population. They are the most resistant to change and prefer sticking with traditional methods. Laggards will only adopt an innovation when it becomes absolutely necessary, often due to external pressures or lack of alternatives. They require overwhelming evidence and substantial external pressure before considering adoption. Each of us is positioned differently on the innovation adoption curve. When someone is on one side of the curve, it is often challenging for them to understand the perspective of those on the opposite side. Individuals on one end might find the behavior of those on the other end perplexing and difficult to comprehend. But understanding where each group falls on the innovation adoption curve is essential. It helps us recognizing that moving from one side of the curve to the other involves addressing varying levels of skepticism and acceptance. As we move further to the right of the curve, we encounter more people who, despite their interest in an innovative idea, find it challenging to accept and adopt it. This behavior often stems from prioritizing deep personal values over general moral values. These individuals require more convincing evidence of an innovation's value before they are willing to change their habits. Thus, innovators and early adopters are crucial in laying the groundwork and building momentum, while the early and late majority are essential for achieving widespread acceptance. The journey to mainstream adoption requires targeting each group effectively and leveraging the influence of the innovators and early adopters to reach the broader market. We will now apply the law of diffusion of innovations to the innovative product of cryptocurrencies in order to find out how much cryptocurrencies have been adopted around the world, and if indeed they can dominate globally. In particular, we will examine the stage of the diffusion curve that cryptocurrencies are currently in to draw useful conclusions about their penetration into societies and assess whether this penetration is sufficient for cryptocurrencies to dominate the global economy and markets. To determine the stage of the diffusion curve where cryptocurrencies are today, we need to examine the number of people who currently own cryptocurrencies worldwide. According to the Crypto.com's Crypto Market Sizing Report, the number of cryptocurrencies holders worldwide reached 508 million by the end of 2023. This number represents 7.21% of the global population, placing therefore cryptocurrencies on the innovation diffusion curve among the early adopters, who typically comprise 2.5 to 13.5% of the population. However, a closer look at this 7.21% segment reveals interesting variation in the diffusion of cryptocurrencies by country and population. According to the AAA data, there are 7 countries with a total population of 536 million, which is 6.9% of the world population, where 97 million people own cryptocurrencies, a figure that represents 18% of the population of these countries. As 80% is placed between 16 and 50% of the population, this means that in these countries, cryptocurrencies are in the third stage of the diffusion curve, the early majority stage, which includes 34% of the population of these countries. The ranking of the 7 countries that have proportionally the most cryptocurrencies is as follows: United Arab Emirates, Singapore, Turkey, Argentina, Thailand, Vietnam and Brazil. In these countries, which cryptocurrency owners represent 1.25% of the world's population, cryptocurrencies have reached the realists, those who are starting to see tangible results and proven benefits for the population of these countries. Next, there are 62 countries with a total population of 5.9 billion, which is 76.4% of the world's population, where 442 million people own cryptocurrencies, a figure that represents 7.44% of the population of these countries. As 7.44% is placed between 2.5 and 16% of the population, this means that cryptocurrencies in these countries are in the second stage of the diffusion curve, the early adopter stage, which reaches 16% of the population of these countries. Within this group of 62 countries, the top 12 countries with diffusion rates between 10.10% and 15.5% are United States, Saudi Arabia, Malaysia, Hong Kong, Indonesia, South Korea, South Africa, Switzerland, Philippines, Venezuela, Ukraine, Canada. In these 62 countries, which cryptocurrency owners represents 5.68% of the world's population, these holders, as they like on the early adopters, see on cryptocurrencies significant value in the innovation despite its flaws. These people are often leaders of public opinion due to their influential professional and social positions. Finally, there are 26 countries with a total population of 1.3 billion, which is 16.7% of the world's population, where cryptocurrency holders number only 21 million, representing 1.67% of the population of these countries. This number is placed between 0 to 2.5% of the world population, which means that in these countries cryptocurrencies are in the first stage of the diffusion curve, the innovator stage, which includes 2.5% of their population countries. In the 26 countries, cryptocurrency owners represent 0.28% of the world population, meaning these countries are placed on the innovation diffusion curve in the innovator stage. Therefore, these individuals are fascinated by any new achievement and motivated to adopt it. These innovative cryptocurrency holders challenge the status quo, fight for change, and aim to improve their lives and their countries. So, in summary, 0.28% of the world's population who own cryptocurrencies are exclusively at the innovator stage. These individuals are found in 86 countries, representing 16.7% of the world's population. Next, 5.68% of the world's population holding cryptocurrencies is in the early adopter stage and is spread across 62 countries, representing 76.4% of the world's population. And finally, 1.25% of the world's population who own cryptocurrencies are in the early majority stage. These people are in 7 countries, representing 6.9% of the world's population. This results in a total of 7.21%, representing 561 million of the global population owning cryptocurrencies, with most of these owners being in the early adopter stage. However, for the community of innovative products like cryptocurrencies, the goal is to move along the curve to achieve maximum adoption. This includes targeting the early majority and the late majority, who occupy the center of the curve and represent the majority of the population, amounting to 68%. Successfully reaching these groups is crucial to the widespread adoption of cryptocurrencies. So, the next goal is to move from the early adopters to the early majority, which represents 16% to 50% of the world's population, or about 1.2 billion to 4 billion cryptocurrency holders. But just entering the early majority requires almost doubling the current number of cryptocurrency holders, which now stands at 561 million, or 7.21% of the world's population. The good news is that the number of cryptocurrency holders has been growing rapidly in recent years. Consider that in 2021, the number of cryptocurrency holders was 320 million, while in 2020 it was 101 million, and in 2018 it was only 18 million. From 2021, cryptocurrencies are at the stage of early adopters, while the 3 previous years were in the stage of innovators. Also, from 2020, we observe a gradual increase to the limits of 30 to 35%. The year-over-year increase in cryptocurrency holders is encouraging and demonstrates the growing acceptance and interest in cryptocurrencies. On the other hand, it is important to recognize that for most of the world's population, cryptocurrencies are still in the second stage of the adoption cycle, which consists of the early adopters, or the ones who are most receptive to adoption innovation. Far fewer are those in the innovators and early majority. However, as mentioned before, the main goal for establishing cryptocurrencies is to dominate the early and late majority, which together represents 68% of the world population. To achieve this goal, focusing on the early adopters of cryptocurrencies, who today dominate globally, is vital. Focusing on early adopters is vital because early adopters are essential in the diffusion curve of cryptocurrencies, since they act as influential opinion leaders who validate the technology and demonstrate its practical benefits. Early adopters' willingness to accept the initial imperfections of cryptocurrencies provides essential feedback for improvement, making the technology more reliable and user-friendly. By leveraging their influential positions and public visibility, early adopters advocate for cryptocurrencies' reasonable advantages such as reduced transaction costs and enhanced financial inclusion to convince people who have adopted unreasonable arguments against cryptocurrencies. Early adopters can demonstrate how cryptocurrencies can be used to achieve greater financial autonomy and accessibility, and highlight how cryptocurrencies can empower individuals and communities excluded from traditional financial systems. Their endorsements serve as powerful signals to the broader public and market participants, building trust and credibility. This reduces perceived risks for the majority, who typically rely on observed results and proven benefits before adopting new innovations. Secondly, early adopters help create a foundation for the majority to follow suit, facilitating broader market penetration and acceptance of cryptocurrencies, transitioning them from a niche innovation to a widely accepted financial tool. Some innovators aim directly at the center of the curve, focusing solely on the early and late majority groups, while ignoring the innovators and early adopters. However, this approach can lead to significant errors. The innovators and early adopters, although a smaller segment of the population, act as the spearhead for any innovative product. They are the initial champions who drive early acceptance and create momentum from broader adoption. This is why cryptocurrencies are in the most critical phase today, which will determine their long-term establishment and therefore their long-term existence. The power today lies with the early adopters, who have a significant opportunity and responsibility to emphasize the profound human and ecological values that cryptocurrencies represent and demonstrate their potential benefits. Early adopters' enthusiasm and advocacy can help to build trust and credibility, which is crucial for convincing the more skeptical early and late majority. They will need to prove themselves worthy of the challenges they are called upon to meet and succeed. The good news is that the enthusiasm and advocacy of early adopters comes largely from a well-educated young generation. The even better news is that cryptocurrencies have an opportunity to capitalize on these demographics. Indeed, in today's early adopter stage, cryptocurrency holders are mostly young, with 72% as under the age of 34. In addition, they are also well educated, with 71% of cryptocurrency holders holding a bachelor's degree or higher, according to AAA. Today, this new generation, the vast majority of whom belong to early adopters, has in their hands the key opportunity, but also the great responsibility to transmit the maximum acceptance of cryptocurrencies to all societies and generations. This new generation of early adopters should highlight the significant comparative advantages of cryptocurrencies. Advantages that include the common values that cryptocurrencies represent worldwide. This new generation should emphasize its willingness to establish common rules that will be defined jointly by communities, users, and authorities. In this way, the young, well-educated generation can actively participate and, as early adopters, leverage their influence to reach widely participation in the crypto market. This strategic approach will ensure that cryptocurrency innovation gains the necessary traction and trust to be widely accepted by the early and late majority, ultimately leading to a global dominance. The journey of cryptocurrencies looks to have enormous potential, not only for financial innovation, but also for fostering greater financial inclusion and autonomy globally. Imagine the journey of cryptocurrencies as a mighty river that begins as a small stream in the mountains. The innovators are the explorers who first discovered this stream, driven by curiosity and the promise of something new. They carve the initial path, paving the way of the early adopters, like the first settlers who recognized the stream's potential and built communities along its banks. These settlers demonstrate the stream's benefits, gradually transforming it into a reliable river. As the river flows downstream, it attracts the early majority and late majority, pragmatic individuals who wait for the river to be established before settling along its banks. Finally, the laggards arrive acknowledging the river's power only when it becomes essential for survival. Cryptocurrency communities, holders and authorities should focus their efforts today and for the foreseeable future on engaging early adopters in order to lay the groundwork for cryptocurrencies to be a mainstream financial tool, potentially leading to significant economic and social changes. The path through the diffusion curve to the widespread adoption and eventually dominance of cryptocurrencies in the global financial ecosystem is challenging, but with the collective efforts of innovators, early adopters, and the wider community, the future of cryptocurrencies promises to be revolutionary. If we continue to innovate, support, and educate, we can ensure that cryptocurrencies fulfill their potential as one of the future cornerstones of the global financial landscape.